All right, so it's all systems go for the Africa Cup of Nations final between Senegal and Egypt, as we know that Egypt is actually pushing for a record-extending 8th Afcon title, while Senegal are just hoping for their first Africa Cup of Nations title. And just to chat a bit more about this, I'm joined by a football journal, actually sports journal as a whole. Mmasekepe Matsebane, how are you doing this morning?
Okay, how are you?
I'm absolutely great. So that final that everyone has been looking forward to. They say it's Sadio Mane versus Mo Salah. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think this final is way more than that. As you said, I mean, Egypt looking to extend their record to 8 titles, and they haven't won an Africa Cup of Nations title in, what, 10 years? So that's something that they would want to rectify, you know, having been a top team in African football. And on the other side, Senegal want to just rewrite or write their own history. They've never won the Africa Cup of Nations. Lost out in the finals in the previous one to Algeria, lost out in 2002 when you expected them to actually go all the way given the squad that they had and how they went on to play at the FIFA World Cup there, doing well, and they lost in the final. So this is for them, you know, could be third time, you know, lucky if it does go their way. And there's just so much to play for Senegal as well. I mean, Sadio Mane equaled Henry Camara's record of 29 goals for Senegal, and today if he does score, having scored 3 times already in this tournament, you know, he's got a bigger opportunity of being the all-time leading goal scorer for Senegal. And not just that, as the captain, deliver a trophy that Senegal have been craving for so long.
I mean, just building up to this final, we know that Egypt is the most successful in this particular tournament, actually in Africa as a whole. Would you say Egypt have been playing as those ones that are considered the ones that are the biggest in the continent?
Not necessarily, no. The only great element about Egypt in this tournament has been their defense. I think Fatih at the back and Hamdi, they've been really good, and Abdul Namen from Al Ahly has I think for Egypt he's got to be one of the best players in this tournament, and I think that's where for Egypt it is. And you've got El Neni as well playing their defensive midfield role. In terms of their attack, it hasn't been as sharp, as incisive as you would expect. And for me, it's even a worry to say that Sherif has been starting a whole lot of matches on the bench. Perhaps that could be because of fitness issues, probably coming from that injury. And also, there is Ramadan Sobi as well, who has been playing so much from the bench. And, you know, when he came on against Cameroon in the semi-final, even though the game ended, I think, 1-1, he created, I think, 2 really clear chances in the dying stages of extra time. And you could see, you know, the trickery is there, the vision is there, the speed is there, the skill is there, but he's still playing off the bench, and you wonder just what Carlos Queiroz is thinking in terms of his lineups. And Mo Salah, when you have him doing almost all the work, it's easy to just close him, you know, suffocate him, not give him too many opportunities. I think even in last week when I was here, when the match was on, I did say that for Salah to create something, or for Egypt to create something, it will have to be set pieces, because they've got giants, they've got big boys, and that's what happened when they got that equalizer. Second goal, of course, the brilliance of Salah finding a cross. But outside of that, you know, they haven't been, you know, a national team to really fear. But because they are a competition team, a tournament kind of team, they know how to win it. They know how to pick at the right time. They know that defense in this kind of competitions is very important. And their goalkeepers have been fantastic. I mean, 3 penalty saves. 2 penalty saves in the semi-finals. That's something really, really big. And you need players in all departments to come to the party, and that's what they've done.
I mean, Carlos Queiroz, so you mentioning him over there as the head coach, do you see him being strong enough in terms of inspiring the players to go for that title?
No, of course. I mean, I think for South Africans it's always a sore point, because we could have hired the guy, and the guy could have changed things. I mean, I'm happy with Hugo Broos at the moment, but when you look at what Carlos Queiroz is doing with Egypt, and again, even envying Egypt, I'll also envy some of their players that if we had a Mo Salah, if we had a Fatih at the back and Hamdi, I think we could go far. So we of course we're lacking in some areas, but when you've got a manager in the magnitude of Carlos Queiroz, and we know South Africa what he can do, because he took us to the World Cup, even though he didn't get to coach at the World Cup because he was sacked, and so what he has done with this Egyptian national team, and I'm willing to even put my head on the block and say that he's going to take them to the World Cup, because they've been that really good, they've been solid. You know, his structure, you can see it. You know, they've been playing a solid four at the back, which looks really, really good, really comfortable. And the midfielder is quite strong, Sulaya and El Neni. And then, you know, you've got, you know, really good wingers, Mo Salah leading the line. They've got some really good players on the bench. But the temperament that he comes with fits very well in Egypt, because he got a red card in the previous match. He's not going to be on the bench tonight. Our own Roger Desai as well, serving a 4-match suspension, won't be on the bench tonight. And only Wael Goma, the former Al Ahly captain, played for Egypt in many matches. He's going to be the bench. He's going to be marshalling the troops. And this is what I would like to see. That, you know, how is it going to work? Obviously, Carlos Queiroz and Roger Desai took charge of training during the week. They were there. And obviously, team talks and so on, I expect them to be there. But on the bench, they are not going to be there. And I think that is where the biggest job kind of take place. Because now players have to be focused, players have to be concentrated, players have to know where they are. Positional discipline is going to be very important. And unless both Carlos Queiroz and Wael Goma are drinking from the same well in terms of tactics, in terms of, you know, the shape that they want to deploy tonight, in terms of their tactical discipline, then it could implode tonight. You know, it could be a calamity, depending on just how Wael Goma and Carlos Queiroz will understand each other in terms of what the team must do on the pitch. And Senegal, they know that very well, and they would want to capitalize on that. They would want to put Egypt under pressure and see if they will buckle or if they will come out of it.
Listen, unfortunately, we have run out of time, but I need to put you on the line. Just give me that scoreline if you can.
For me, Senegal. I think Senegal are going to take it.
Okay.
I mean, Bonasa has been doing well. They've got, you know, Mane, they've got Keita coming back. So I expect them to be a really, really strong team. I think a 2-1 scoreline will do it for Senegal. I don't see a penalty shootout today. I just see a straight win for the Lions of Teranga.
Well, you heard it from himself, the man himself, saying that he goes with Senegal. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if Senegal has what it takes to take or to lift the trophy after all. Well, that's it.